Hey everybody, it's Vincent. Today I'm doing a recording of me recording the radio segment for Radio Lexington. So you'll have to get used to me looking at the screen while I read from my notes and stuff. So let's get into it, shall we? This is the open source news for Radio Lexington for the week of December the 15th, 2019. And I'm your host, Vincent Maggard, from the foothills of Eastern Kentucky. Let's dive into the news for this week. Had issues signing into your Google account today on Linux? Some Linux users are currently reporting issues signing into certain Google services such as Gmail at this time. According to OMG Ubuntu at this time, the issue does not appear to be widespread. And I can say for myself, I am not currently experiencing this issue on any of my Linux systems. Canonical is sponsoring Microsoft's first Linux conference, the WSL conference, which is at Microsoft's headquarters March 10th through the 11th of next year. The conference is focused around the Windows subsystem for Linux, Microsoft's Linux emulator equivalent thing for Windows, which allows users to be able to run Linux applications in some situations on a Windows machine. According to OMG Ubuntu, developers, enthusiasts, and users of WSL will get to enjoy 2 packed days dedicated to the tech with presentations, workshops, and networking around the platform. For additional information about this, you can visit the website omgubuntu.co.uk or look at the show notes at opensourcetonight.com. In other news this week, VirtualBox has released VirtualBox 6.1 with support for Linux kernel 5.4, accelerated video playback on Linux and Mac OS machines, among other features as well. Other features that have been added include experimental changes to the VBox IM mount command, which will now support adding read-only access to NTFS, FAT, X2, X3, and X4 file systems inside of a VirtualBox disk image. And that's the open source news for the week of December the 15th, 2019. I'm your host, Vincent Maggard, from the foothills of Eastern Kentucky. You can find me throughout the week by listening to my podcast, Open Source Tonight. Visit us online at opensourcetonight.com or listen where podcasts are available. And that's it for this week. Until next week, I'm Vincent Maggard. Thanks so much for listening to Radio Lexington. And that's it. That's how easy it is to record the segment. It's pretty short, just a couple minutes long. Sometimes it's a little bit longer and sometimes a little bit shorter, depending on how much news there is that week and how much I'm covering. I try to cover somewhere between 3 to 5 stories a week, sometimes more and sometimes less, just depending on what I think actually makes sense for the audience. But that's pretty much it, everybody. This was just a really quick video. Sorry I didn't get something more prepared for this week, but there'll be some more cool stuff next week. Let me know if you would like to see me edit an episode of this segment in the future. Maybe I'll record that as well at some point. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. Until next time, this is Vincent signing off. Goodbye, everybody.